Hello and thank you for watching. Today is April 1st, 2015, and in this video I would like to review the Eaton 400 typewriter that I got about a month and a half ago now, but I never got around to cleaning it. This is it. As you can see, the color really isn't coming out very well in this video. It's way more blue than is shown here. I got this typewriter off of Craigslist for $5 and I really love it. I am a typewriter collector who collects typewriters based on their looks as well as their rarity, but I couldn't let this one go. I mean, the color is absolutely spectacular. Black keys, I love it very much. It's very much like my Royal Tapomatic, although it is rather simpler. It doesn't have a tabulator and it doesn't have a paper support. The typewriter the overall condition of it is good. It's very good. It had a few tiny rust spots, I noticed. One of them is over there. The other one is underneath the carriage. It's about the same size, also on the frame. And there was a tiny spot over here which I tried to touch up just a little bit. I've treated all of them with WD-40, which I've previously experienced seems to kill off rust very well. There are a few scratches here and there, but this machine really is a wonderful piece to have. It's a tiny nick there, which is exactly where the carriage return lever would hit. Things like that. It has been used. There are some wear marks, but it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so like I said, I picked it up for $5. I was cleaning it. The cleaning was very well. It wasn't dirty at all. What I noticed was that the carriage shift, it's a carriage shift as you can see, and it would bounce whenever it would turn to its lower setting. So when it would turn, it would bounce, and if you were typing fast, it would cause uneven characters on the page. So I went to have a look and see if I could find what the problem was, and after tinkering, what I found, it turned out, oh, let me just take the carriage lock off. It turns out this, in a way, the carriage, the downforce is controlled by washers which work as spring-like. You can see it over there. It's that the black, the third ring over there. Oh, I'm sorry. Just see if we can get the focus back. There we go. As you can see, there are some. Well, it's hard to see, but there are springs there in there. They're all folded together now. You can see it now a bit better. As you can see, and they should be on the other side as well, only I found that they were not. I think somebody must have removed them, or it's a mistake of some sort. Anyway, this would cause the carriage to bounce whenever it would turn to its position. If you were typing fast, you would have the capital letter fine, but then the next letter would be very low, because according to the type on the keys. So I thought of how could I fix this. I didn't have any washers, so what I did, I went to get some wire, you know, the stuff you use for fences, and I cut a piece off, and that I twisted around in there, and then I tightened the screw, as you can see, which is not entirely tightened because else it wouldn't work, and now the carriage does bounce fine, as you can see, so it doesn't stutter. It's very solid now, so that worked very well for me. It took a while though. I had to take the body off a few times because I couldn't figure out what the problem was. Underneath the cover, which I will take off for you, the cover is held on by these two rubbers over here, which are still surprisingly good considering I have a Royal Tapomatic, like as I mentioned earlier, and the rubber on that was really dry and came apart as soon as I took the cover off. On this though, the rubbers are still very good. Don't know how long they will last, but for now it will work. I'll try, you know, just be careful with it a little bit. This particular machine, despite how small it is, as you can see, it's I think about 3-4 inches high, something like that, if you're not counting the carriage. Yeah, I think 3-4 inches. It does take standard spools, and if you type on this machine, it's surprisingly how deep the keys go. It does rather feel like a bigger machine, although it isn't. I enjoy the feeling of that. The space bar doesn't have that, so that's sometimes a little bit of a disturbance, but besides that, that's just the way it goes. This is the color selector, as you can see, so that's black and stencil and red, although I only have a black ribbon installed right now from Staples. This is the backspace, this is the carriage margin release, and it unjams the keys as well, so classic story. It has 1, 1.5 and 2 spaces, and then 0, so if you put that, it moves freely, and this doesn't, it just, I think it does move free, so I think it does 2 sentence spaces. And it has a carriage lock also integrated into the line spacer, as you can see. The carriage lever folds down very nicely. The settings here, this is the paper bill, obviously. It's rather simple. It has the paper release over here, so if I want to release it, it's released now. No, it isn't. Carriage release, bell. The backs, it has a back emblem, so let me just turn it around, you can have a look. It says made in Japan, the serial number is 105691990. So I tried to look up, but there's no records of this machine on the Typewriter database. So if anybody has any information on this, please let me know, and I'll update the title of this video, which is probably just gonna be late 60s Eaton 400 typewriter. Okay, so just one more thing here: the margin sets, and I think I've covered everything. Then, so what I will do now is place my camera on a spot where you will be able to see the typewriter. Let me just put the cover back on, and I will do a bit of a type session, because this really is a rather wonderful machine to type with. I'm planning on this being my primary traveling typewriter, so I know this isn't terribly good. Oh yeah, here's the case, by the way. It's a little bit, it had a sticker on it at some point, as you can tell. Okay, let's see if we can do this. No, you can see it works. Or maybe I'm just trying to find a better angle for you. Just to grab the case and do this. Maybe not. No, that's not gonna work. So that will be the view you have. Okay, so I'm just gonna type the quick bound fox jumps over the lazy dog a few times. Ooh, typing error. So as you can see, the new ribbon works very well, and the carriage is reasonably. Let's see. Yeah, it works. I mean, there isn't a single shifting situation where the letter after the shifted letter, the capital, is lower. So that repair, little simple repair, just made this a whole lot better. I have to figure out why the platen on this typewriter turns very tight, but I think that also just might be manufacturer thing. You barely notice it at all when you return it, or actually you don't notice it, you just notice it when you turn the paper in. Yeah, so that's the review of the Eaton 400 typewriter. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have a good day. Bye bye.